Alright, say 99 Spiral. YouTube, fair use, fair use. This is for teaching purposes, educational, and all that. Content notice. Warning. Con. Alright, say now, 9 Spiral. And we're back on the investigation of was Tecumseh Elijah the prophet. Now, we're gonna walk the doggy. We're gonna continue to walk the doggy, right? We learning as we go. Again, I don't tend to know everything, but we're fearless in our investigations, and all we want is the truth. And so we're gonna attempt to do some correlation between the two, but also we're gonna dig into more or less this Caracas situation that's going on in Venezuela. Now I'm going to try and tie in why this plays and why it's important. And so we're going to pop off. We're going to get just a little bit of it, right? Because I haven't researched that much. But again, this was a major event. Who was this Tecumseh? Let's find out. DJ, hit it.
Today's topic I'll be discussing is the Caracas, Venezuela earthquake of 1812. This is not to be confused with the Caracas earthquake of 1967. And this past week or so, while I was reading about the earthquake, I ended up spending more time learning about the history of Venezuela. I was seeking information that might point to the Caracas earthquake being caused by unnatural events, say warfare. Before I discuss the Caracas earthquake of 1812, I'm going to
All right, now I'm just going to point out some key phrases. He said warfare, right? And haven't we been getting this with the fires of the 1900s? These people speak of it was some type of warfare, right? Some type of world attack, if you will. And so we're just going to observe, right? And just listen, right?
Cover a brief history of Venezuela. If you're like me, I had no clue what was going on in Venezuela in the early 19th century.
Me neither. Let's go.
In the least, it will save you the trouble searching YouTube for Venezuelan history. I will do my very best to make the history short and simple. You are probably familiar with the history.
That's what I aim to do. Short and sweet.
About Napoleon unleashing his reign of destruction all across Europe during the early 19th century. In my 1811 comet videos, I question the cause of this destruction as being an unnatural event, but I won't digress. And our calendar was altered at some time during this period too, around 1809 and again maybe 1812. Napoleon's destruction.
Okay, so he says calendars were altered around about this time. So when Static in the Attic brought out the theory, right, and then later recants, right, in a later video, but when he brought out the theory that these people were able to take control at this time, right, because of not because of even though our ancestors fought these heathens, right, up until the 1800s, right, hence all the Indian wars, right, but it was something of a higher power that allowed these people to take over. And this is what we're digging on, right? You hear us talk about the treaty signing and Drop Nation, Uh, this is why this Prester was sent, right? A messenger from the Most High. So we're going to dig on it. Let's go. I said, let go.
Comes immediately after the French Revolution, seeking to expand the French Empire and conquering Europe. The French Revolution.
And so we seem to have something popping off round about this revolution war, if you will. Whatever it was, and these wars seem to be so convoluted and complex, right? Uh, you never get the gist of what they were really about. But we know that these heathens were trying to separate from your brethren, right? So we get that. But we want to understand what else was popping off at this time, right? And so you got who? Tecumseh popping off right around the same time, right? Whose name means resurrection, shooting star, panther, waka. Let's go.
Revolution was a period of great upheaval in France from 1789 until 1799. The revolution overthrew monarchies and established republics. Rather, French revolutionaries overthrew kings and queens and set up sovereign governments. The French Revolution promoted liberal and radical ideas. The effects of the French Revolution were felt as far away as the European colonies in the Americas. If you didn't know, present-day Venezuela was colonial territory of the Kingdom of Spain, more specifically King Ferdinand VII of Spain. The story is a bit more...
Aha! So exactly why does Venezuela plays, right? We're going to get down to the nitty gritty because this is what we do at Drop Nation. Let's go. Pop off, Con.
When we talk Orinoco, we talking Columbus. We talking Christopher Columbus was keenly interested in finding the lost Garden of Eden. The lost world. Oh, we're gonna get to this too. Tecumseh.
Con.
Love to hire Mark. We're gonna get back in that classroom.
Hi,
You
Con.
know, man. You know we need it. We ain't nothing without a hire Mark classroom, man. Don't you forget it.
Oh, hi, Con.
Let's go.
No doubt.
Guardian on the wall.
Let's go.
What we talking about? The lost Garden of Eden.
Huh?
Christopher Columbus was keenly interested in finding the lost Garden of Eden. One of his prized possessions was a copy of Cardinal Pierre Dially's Imago Mundi, a geographical treatise that suggested terrestrial paradise perhaps is the place which the authors call the Fortunate Islands, the Canary Islands off the north coast of Africa. Let go. Columbus' copious marginal notes demonstrate his abiding interest in mapping the location of the lost garden, which he stumbled upon onto the island of Hispaniola. When he stumbled onto Hispaniola, so he's far from Africa now. He's in Hispaniola. He's in Haiti. He's in Haiti.
Con.
Columbus believes he was close to rediscovering Eden. Yeah, he's in the Americas now. He's close to Eden. He's close to Eden. He's close to Eden because he's in the Americas, man.
Huh?
He's close to Eden because he's in the Americas, man. He's close to Eden because he's in the Americas, man. Oh, man. Y'all think this is play. Y'all think this is play.
is what we do at Drop Nation.
He's close to Eden. He's in Hispaniola. He's close to Eden. He's in Hispaniola. He's close to Eden. Man, look at that, man. This crazy picture right here. Because you can see the water coming out the tree, the source of the Amazon. He's close to Eden. So you think these little brushes on the bottom are trees that you walk by every day? Nah, man, this is a tree, man. When the Most High say he gonna cut down your trees, this is a mighty tree. Sliced, clean down. What can slice this? What can possibly slice this tree down? It must have taken the angels to do it. Let go. We're just talking Columbus, man. So he knows that the terrestrial paradise perhaps is the place which the authors call the Fortunate Islands. Alright. So we're talking terrestrial paradise. We're talking what? Eden. When he comes to Hispaniola, Haiti, Columbus believes he was close to discovering Eden. Huh? A brief reinforced by the strength of the Orinoco River. Huh? Mount Roraima, the source of the Amazon and the Orinoco River. Eden, terrestrial paradise.
Alright, so you see Venezuela plays, right? And we're digging on the earthquakes of Caracas, right? Venezuela, 1812. What happened in 1812 with this Prester, this comment? Was this Elijah? We shall see. Alright, say now. Okay, so what I'm attempting to do here is examine some correlations, right? Between Tecumseh and Elijah the prophet. Let's go.
Tecumseh was too young to take part in this battle. Although he spent much time in fighting sham battles, it was not until 6 years later that he had an opportunity to fight in a real one. In 1786, he and his elder brother went out with a band of warriors to check or drive back Captain Logan, who was advancing toward Mad River. In an encounter near Dayton, the boy was forced for the first time to face a cavalry charge.
First time in battle. Okay, let's go.
He had never imagined anything so terrifying. He saw those great rushing horses, the cruel flash of steel. He forgot his hatred of the white man, his dreams of glory. His only thought was to save his life. He threw down his gun and ran. As soon as he recovered from his fright, he felt very much ashamed of his cowardly conduct. He was eager for another opportunity to test his courage. Fortunately for him, he did not have to wait long. Tecumseh was with a party of Indians who attacked some flatboats on the Ohio River. The boats were taken, and all the men in charge of them were killed except one, who was made a prisoner. This was an important occasion in the life of Tecumseh. He acted with such daring and bravery that the old warriors of the party were astonished.
Okay, so he overcame fear. Alright, keep that in mind.
His experience on mountains
took him from Carmel to Sinai to Tabor. Likewise, seeing him rise through faith, zeal, and ascetic labor, even to the heights of heaven. Yet, as St. James reminds us, Elijah was of like a nature to ours, and could be overcome with fear and despondency, even as he could offer effective prayer that worked wonders.
Huh? I mean, we just making correlations, man, that's all.
In 1786, he and his elder brother went out with a band of warriors to check or drive back Captain Logan, who was advancing toward Mad River. In an encounter near Dayton, the boy was forced for the first time to face a cavalry charge. He had never imagined anything so terrifying. He saw those great rushing horses, the cruel flash of steel. He forgot his hatred of the white man, his dreams of glory. His only thought was to save his life. He threw down his gun and ran. As soon as he recovered from his fright, he felt very much ashamed of his cowardly conduct. He was eager for another opportunity to test his courage. Fortunately for him, he did not have to wait long. Tecumseh was with a party of Indians who attacked some flatboats on the Ohio River. The boats were taken, and all the men in charge of them were killed except one, who was made a prisoner. This was an important occasion in the life of Tecumseh. He acted with such daring and bravery that the old warriors of the party were astonished.
Okay, so we see that this Prester has a nature like unto humans and can be overcome with fear, but able to prevail. Let's go.
From that night, the Shawnees spoke of Tecumseh as a brave. Besides winning the good opinion of others, he regained his self-respect and conquered fear. The memory of this victory was not pleasant to Tecumseh. It was followed by the burning of the prisoner. Although the burning of prisoners was not rare among the Shawnee Indians, this was the first time Tecumseh...
Keep in mind now, he's a righteous Prester, order of Melchizedek.
had seen a man put to death in that barbarous manner, and he grew sick and faint with horror at the sight. But this time he was terrified not for himself, but for another, and he was not ashamed of his feelings. Boy though he was, he stood before the older Indians and told them plainly what he thought of their cruel act. He spoke with so much power that he made all who heard him feel as he did about it.
I mean, you got accounts of this Prester with hazel eyes, and he was handsome. All the Aquas were after him, and he wasn't having none of that, man. This is a Prester, man. He was sent to do the Most High's work. Right here. Real time. We digging on it real time. Let's go.
Elijah then appeared like a second Moses. His name means, "My God is Yahweh," and is pronounced Elias in Greek and Elias in English. Upon Elijah's birth, his father had a vision of angels swaddling the infant in flames and feeding him fire.
Prester.
This foreshadowed Elijah's future role as prophet, one who speaks for God.
Say now. I say, what are we talking about exactly, right? We're talking about a chief. Cacique. Right? Right. Whose enemies refer to him as a dragon. Right? You are the last dragon. You possess the power of the globe. Right? We need to know. Dodge on hijack. Ojala o ho wa. Huh? Back it up. Huh? Right? Who was a messenger, a mouthpiece for what? His power. His creator. Who? That's a ha in front of the wa now. Don't get it twisted. We're going to dig on it. Right? You see? Alright. I say we have you put in what? I am, right? It's gonna take you to what? Alright, let's get it. Hypothetical reconstruction of the tetragrammaton. The Yiddish. Based on the assumption that the tetragrammaton is the imperfective, right? A weak-ass version of Hebrew verb hawa. Earlier form of heya. Let's go. Alright, now Spiral, we're back and we're attempting to correlate, right? The two. That's all we're doing. We're just surfing the wave. We don't know everything, but we do ask the pertinent questions. Is Tecumseh Elijah the prophet? Behold, right? I will send you Elijah the prophet, and he shall turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the father. Meaning, in my opinion, he's going to unite his people. Let's go.
Tecumseh's reputation as a warrior was soon firmly established. He was equally noted as a hunter, though he had long been appointed out as one of the best Shawnee hunters. Right. Many young men had claimed as great success as he. At length, someone suggested a way to decide who was the ablest hunter. Let us, said he, each go alone into the forest for 3 days to hunt the deer, and the one who brings home the largest number of deer skins shall be considered the greatest hunter. All agreed to this test, and several noted hunters started out. After 3 days, each returned bearing the evidence of his skill as a hunter. Some proudly displayed 10 skins, some 12. All right. Last of all came Tecumseh with 35 deer skins. Then the other Indians stopped boasting and declared Tecumseh the greatest hunter of the Shawnee nation. Tecumseh was a generous hunter as well as a skillful one. He made it his business to provide many who were old or sick with meat and skins.
Generous hunter, huh? He made it a point to provide for the needy, huh? Let's go.
And so, for 3 years and 6 months it did not rain, and drought and famine became common in all the land. As Elijah hoped to once again awaken in the people a thirst for God.
Awakening the people, huh? Awaken in the people a thirst for Hawa. Turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the fathers. Unite the people, huh?
Elijah then fled to the brook Cherith, upon the word of the Lord, even as Ahab searched for him everywhere. Elijah drank water from the brook, and ate bread in the morning, and meat in the evening, mysteriously brought to him by ravens, and sustaining him day by day.
All right, so here we see Elijah has this thing where he's fasting. He goes in the wilderness and fast, right? Let's go.
It was not the first time Tecumseh was forced to move, but this time he was there to see his village burn, witnessing with his own eyes the destruction caused by the big knives. Never again would Tecumseh sit idly by while his people's land was ravaged. In the years that followed, Tecumseh began training to become the warrior his father had wanted him to be. His eldest brother, B.K.A, took full responsibility for his younger brother's growth, obeying his dying father's last wish. Tecumseh was taught how to hunt, how to fight, and how to live as a Shawnee warrior should. When he entered adolescence, B.K.A blackened Tecumseh's face and sent him alone into the woods to find his guardian spirit. Tecumseh fasted and meditated, and his spirit came to him in a vision. He never revealed to anyone what form his ethereal guardian took.
Huh? Y'all see what's going on here? This a whole Prester right here, man. Is this Elijah?
Tecumseh soon matured into a strong, intelligent young man. Allegedly, he once slew 16 bison with only a bow and a single quiver of arrows.
16 bison with one bow? Prester.
He also drew no small amount of attention from the opposite sex. The women of the Shawnee were very fond of Tecumseh, but he did not indulge in their attention, often brushing off their advances.
Priest King. Got it.
The engagement at the Fallen Timbers ended the 10-year frontier war, and the United States finally managed to impose their sovereignty over the Old Northwest. Native leaders were compelled to sign the Treaty of Greenville, a document that forced them to recognize large chunks of Ohio and the Great Lakes as American soil.
I be there.
Tecumseh was disgusted by this capitulation and stubbornly refused to sign the treaty. Instead, he retreated with his followers to Buck Creek, where...
Do y'all see why the Most High sent a Messiah? Or is this Elijah? Behold, I will send you Elijah.
he founded a village. For the next 10 years, Tecumseh bided his time, waiting for the opportunity in which he could make his dream a reality, a dream of a united, self-sufficient native nation. That opportunity...
And he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the fathers, lest I come strike the earth with a curse.
would arrive in 1805, when Tecumseh's laggard of a younger brother received a vision from the Great Spirit. The idler, known as Lalawithika, would transform into Tenskwatawe, the Great Prophet, and lead a religion.
Right. So here we see the Most High is using his family members, right? So are we talking about a bloodline here? Is this the order of Melchizedek going on? Right? I mean, his brother, right, was supposedly a drunk, a rowdy, and had one eye. think for playing with a slingshot or something like that. All of a sudden one night, the Most High visits him in a dream. Then he becomes a prophet. I mean, it just gets even better. They even, after leading the revolt, they even established a stronghold called Prophetstown. What? How come this ain't in the history books, man? Wow.
Religious revival that would bring together tribes from all corners of the American frontier. By the turn of the 19th century, it was clear that the Americans' hunger for territory had not been sated. The Louisiana Purchase, which saw a massive stretch of land sold by the French to the United States, all but
and he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the fathers. He will unite his people. Under who? Hurrah!
He first lived in the wilderness and purified his heart through fasting, prayer, and chastity before receiving God's call to go and confront Ahab. As the Lord God of hosts lives, said Elijah to Ahab, the God of all Israel before whom I stand, there shall not be any dew, nor rain during these years, except at my word. And so, for 3 years and 6 months it did not rain, and drought and famine became common in all the land. As Elijah hoped to once again awaken in the people a thirst for God.
The catalyst of this confrontation came in 1809, when Governor Harrison of Indiana coerced select chieftains of the Delaware, Potawatomi, and Kickapoo to sign the Treaty of Fort Wayne, which ceded a 12,000 square kilometer piece of land along the Wabash River to the United States government. This treaty infuriated Tecumseh, as it flew right in the face of his core belief that land belonged collectively to all natives. He saw it as theft, a plain and simple attempt to extort weak chieftains whose land had been made poor by white settlers. In August of 1810, Tecumseh met with Harrison face-to-face outside the governor's colonial estate, and the two engaged in a heated parley. Tecumseh insisted that native land could not be bought or sold unless done so collectively by all the tribes acting as one, and that the land ceded to the Americans in the recent treaties still rightfully belonged to the natives. Harrison replied that individual tribes were free to make treaties with the United States, but Tecumseh's confederacy was not recognized, nor did the local tribes welcome his interference in their affairs.
Then we're gonna go to the next one. Notice this 1819, then shit changed. They just tried to add in a couple of more borders. Then they came up in here in 1821. Now this is where they reached my county. But the thing about it is I actually found it.
Yeah, I'm right up in here too.
In 1840, I found my family on the first censuses that they had, because they didn't have these censuses made by then. Like I told y'all now, these was a little bit behind. So it really around 1830 is when I actually found that they got to my people, but they didn't get that until that time, man. It was around 1830. See, that's the 10-year gap that they trying to put in.
Oh, man.
Because it plays up and it messes up the history. Like if you go and look at their documentation, when Andrew Jackson was basically making treaties with these fake $5 Indians. He was out there, all of that stuff happened in 29 and 30 and 32. So basically they want you to think that it happened 10 years prior and that they already had this land. When you go back and look at the paperwork, you're going to be like, oh man, they already had that land. But they didn't. That's the thing about it.
Y'all see that shit? See how they try to trip us up?
All right, now 1821. And then we see that they just basically started filling them in, sectioning them off a little bit. That's 22. 23, they just basically started doing the same thing, man. Now, most of these things are not hard dates. They shouldn't be in there as if they are, because when I actually went in and did a couple of the cities, my girlfriend is from the South, and she did some of hers, and we found the same information. It was about a 10-year gap in the actual time frame, you know.
Straight up, y'all. Hey, man, shout out to my partner, Nick Penn. No doubt, man. Nick Penn, y'all.
They lied, man, you know. They just now started doing this stuff.
Straight up.
That's why I think it's important for y'all to know that, man, you know.
No.
These folks have been lying to y'all since y'all was kids, you know.
Nicholas Pencil,
just like my family told me, man. Like my dad told me. He told me the best. He said, you know what, Nick? All that they ever did was they would come in and they would build stuff over here onto your land that they didn't ask for. And then you would just be like, okay, whatever, you know. And then after a while, they'd be like, hey, you didn't pay taxes on it. And we'd be like, what the hell is you talking about? Well, we built it for you, so you got to pay taxes on it.
Y'all see
and
that shit?
And people be like, well, shit, we didn't tell you to build it. And they'd be like, well, since...
You hear that shit? It's this man's father passing down stories that has been handed down. You feel me?
You didn't, you can't pay the taxes. We'll just take this and the land that it sits on. So that's basically what they did. It's called encroachment, man. They encroached on our people, and our people was broken down, and we was not communicating well at the time. And it's...
Bam. That's why he sent the Prester. Say now, we still on the investigation, man. Are we dealing with a priest king, a Prester, a Messiah, right? Sent to unite the people, and he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to the fathers. Lest I come and strike the earth with a curse. Let's dig deeper. Pop off, man.
The back and forth debate inspired a passionate reply from Tecumseh and his most iconic quote.
Okay.
Sell a country? Why not sell the air, the great sea, as well as the earth?
What?
Did not the Great Spirit make them all for the use of his children?
No.
Tensions soon grew between the two parties.
No, this is a Prester right
Harrison
here.
was quick to point out that the Shawnee themselves had taken land from the Miamis, so what right had they to dictate the affairs of other tribes? If the tribes were all one nation, as Tecumseh claimed, why did the Great Spirit not have them all speak one language? Tecumseh lost his temper, declaring that everything Harrison said was a lie, and that the Americans had cheated the native peoples. He brandished his tomahawk at the governor, prompting Harrison to draw his saber and point it at Tecumseh. A tense standoff ensued, but neither side attacked. Harrison forced the meeting to an end and demanded Tecumseh and his followers leave, and the two met once more the following day, this time at the Shawnees' camp. This time Tecumseh opted for a more diplomatic route. He offered the United States alliance against Britain, but only if they would renounce their claim to native lands purchased in recent treaties. Harrison replied cordially, saying he would present Tecumseh's terms to the president, but did not expect the natives' conditions to be met. To this, Tecumseh replied regretfully, I hope the great chief will give up this land. He is so far off, he may sit still and drink his wine, whilst you and I will have to fight it out.
What?
Harrison.
Are we talking about a Prester? Let's go. Alright, now we're going to find out some attributes of a Prester, right? A priest king. Because clearly, this is what's going on here. This is a Messiah. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Hawa. Let's go.
About 3 years later, Elijah was taken up into heaven, but not without first undergoing a struggle with the angel of death. He refused to let Elijah enter heaven at his translation on the ground that he exercised jurisdiction over all mankind, Elijah not accepted. God maintained that at the creation of heaven and earth, he had explicitly ordered the angel of death to grant entrance to the living prophet. But the angel of death insisted that by Elijah's translation, God had given just cause for complaint to all other men who could not escape the doom of death. Thereupon God, Elijah is not like other men.
Okay.
He is able to banish thee from the world.
Wow.
Only thou dost not recognize his strength. With the consent of God, a combat took place between Elijah and the angel of death. The prophet was victorious, and if God had not restrained him, he would have annihilated his opponent.
Did what?
Holding his defeated enemy under his feet, Elijah ascended heavenward.
Oh, man.
In heaven he goes on living for all time. There he
man.
sits recording the deeds of men and the chronicles of the world.
Huh?
He has another office besides. He is the psychopomp, whose duty is to stand at the crossways in paradise and guide the pious to their appointed places, who brings the souls of sinners up from Gehenna at the approach of the Sabbath and leads them back again to their merited punishment when the day of rest is about to depart, and who conducts these same souls after they have atoned for their sins to the place of everlasting bliss.
Amen.
Elijah's miraculous deeds will be better understood if we remember that he had been an angel from the very first, even before the end of his earthly career. When God was about to create man, Elijah said to him, Master of the world, if it be pleasing in thine eyes, I will descend to earth and make myself serviceable to the Son
Can't make this shit up, man.
of men. Then God changed his angel name, and later under Ahab, he permitted him to abide among men on earth that he might convert the world to the belief that the Lord is God.
Wow. Ain't that what we seeing with Tecumseh? Yo. Yo, man. Wow. I mean, you know, this is significant, man, because if indeed Tecumseh was Elijah, then what's next? Time's up.
In March of 1768, Tecumseh was born to the Shawnee people in a village along the Ohio River. It is said that upon giving birth, his mother looked to the heavens and saw a comet blazing across the night sky. This is where the child got his name, Tecumseh, the shooting star. The Shawnee had...
Say.
Uh-huh.
Say.
She.
Tecum. Say.
Con.
I mean, no matter how we flip it and rub it upside down, there's something magical, there's something special in the air when we dig on Tecum. Say.
Got it.
Tecumseh means resurrection, and in Algonquin, the word Tecumseh means goes through one place to another.
We're talking Immortal Kings, right? Let's go.
We're just talking the Black Panther, right? I mean, we're just talking Waka, right? Or I was reminded of the Indian chief Tecumseh. Tecumseh, and wondered about the meaning of his name. A Google search brought up the Wikipedia entry, which says his name means shooting star. We're talking comet, Prester, wait a minute, or Panther. Waka. This is the Black Panther, man. The resurrection. The one who goes through one place to another.
The one who crosses, right? Lepna Dango, Lion of Judah, you don't want to tangle. Cross the sandband yonder scepter, we talking Jadaron. Author of Vortic manuscripted and left it encrypted. Medieval empire Israelite that be XLR. Hebraic patriarch Indian with the fountain of youth. Possess the stone of Shambhala magic mirror see-through. Dispatching dragons on foes, Phineas gon' get at 'em. Immortal kings walk through portals, go one place to another. If you get wrong, just might hit your ass with a ball of plasma. Cross the seas, search high and low for none other than Prester John. Let's go.
In the prefatory remarks to the forthcoming work upon the chieftain Tecumseh, let's go.
Let's go.
The following language is used, and we avail ourselves of the privilege of extracting from our own storehouse materials for the commencement of this new historical campaign. The courteous reader is tracing the fate of Tecumseh, as depicted in the pages of his life, will not fail to observe the strong analogy between the religious settlements of the chief of the forest and those of the ancient Hebrews.
Body bag, Daniel. Alright. Okay, so I don't know if y'all remember the old school cartoon Voltron. Now, when I'm studying the footages of these meteors, right, you start to see some strange anomalies, right, Shalaki? And we gonna get into that. But first, let me just play this clip, and so we can get familiar with the picture. Who got the glow, huh? Let go. Somebody trying to hijack me.
在美国西北部发现一颗白
All right, let's pop off. Let me see if I can quarterback this thing. Y'all just bear with me. Let's go.
视光球高速下坠，撞击地球。在那个陨石
First of all, I've seen several of these footages, right? And so, since this picture is up, you'll always get, like, sometimes you see this separation right here of this this dot, this second light source. This is what I call it. Indeed, that's what it is. I've seen footages where you get this separation, and this separation kind of goes in and out, almost acting like a guide, if you will. And so we're just gonna check the footage out, man. And it's all about visuals. Let's go.
石的旁边还有另一个小点，在它旁边。在它们到达之前，小光点接近陨石，使其爆炸并消失在地平线上。那个事件就是你将在下面看到的。该记录非常清晰，影像引人注目。许多乐观主义者声称，它可能是一个庇护所，并保护一些外星生命，而这正在关注人类的关怀。
Alright, and so we're faced to address Malachi chapter 4, verse 5 and 6. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Hawa. And he will turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and strike the earth with a curse. Why is this important? Well, I will send Elijah before I come, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of Hawa. Powers there be. Time's up.